Good morning.
Morning, ma'am.
Morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Since I told you earlier also, biotechnology, one of the most important chapters for an examination point of view. So one more day I'm giving you beta for biotechnology. All the previous year's questions asked from these two chapters of the unit biotechnology. I'm going to discuss them with you. I'll tell you which kind of questions have come from this unit. Both the units I've included in the previous chapter. Most common, most repeated questions we are going to discuss today. From which unit?
Biotechnology.
Yes, there are two chapters you know only, biotechnology principles, and the second one is your applications of biotechnology. Very important unit, beta. Very important unit. So I just have made a PDF of all the frequently asked questions from this. Okay, let me see how much we are able to do. Can you see something on your screens? Some figure is there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Let me see how many answers you can give now. There are, I want to show you the figure also. Yes, Peter. I've discussed this yesterday and day before yesterday also. What does the above given diagram represent? What is it?
PBR 322.
PBR
Yes.
322.
Cloning vector. Please mention that because PBR 322 is given here, right? Mention that this is E. coli cloning vector, PBR 322. The name is PBR 322, but this is E. coli cloning vector. Okay, tell me what does A stand for? I discussed yesterday. A. What site was this? Does anyone remember? No? And B? Why I'm showing you this is beta, you'll have questions of this kind. A is your hint 3 and B is this point that you have here. This is BAM H1 site. Which site is this? BAM?
H1 site.
Yesterday they had asked you about naming these ORI sites and ROPs and all. Now it's a different what does ROP stand for? What does it code for? What does ROP code for?
Protein for replication.
Very
Protein
good.
for replication.
Proteins for replication. The fourth question is ORI important?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, because it is the starting site of replication. So ORI is very important, beta. Okay, see this. If we want to have many copies of target DNA, what should we do? Many copies. What should we do? What should we do for a higher copy number?
Cloning.
Yes, we should do cloning, of course. Cloning of any vector which gives a high copy number. We should go for cloning. Tell me quickly, what does the above given diagram represent? How will you answer this question?
E. coli cloning vector PBR 322.
Yes. E. coli cloning vector PBR 322. Excellent. What does A stand for? Which site was this?
Hint.
Hind 3.
Three.
Very good. And this one is?
BAM H1.
Yes, beta. It is your BAM H1 site. Hind 3 and BAM H1 site. What does ROP code for? You already given this answer to me just now.
Protein for replication.
Yes, it is protein for replication. And is ORI important? Yes, it is important because replication initiates or starts from this point only, ORI, origin of replication. And if you want to make copies of DNA, then you should go for cloning. I'm taking all diagram based questions which have come till now in the previous years. See this again, diagram based questions. All questions which I've collected in this PDF are only diagram based questions which have come in the previous years from this unit. See this question. Analyze the following given diagram and answer the questions based on it. See the diagram. Okay. EcoR1 is used to cut a segment of foreign DNA and that of a vector DNA to form a recombinant DNA. Children, those who are attending the classes must have observed one thing. Both the sets of 2019 as well as 2018 had a question on recombinant DNA. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So this question is again based on recombinant DNA picked from a different year, but they have asked in a different manner. How they have asked? They've asked diagrammatically. Okay, just see the figure and let's see what they are asking. After the entire process shown in the diagram, what is it that you're getting? Resultant A. What is it that you're getting? See, the answer is given in the question only. What is being formed?
Recombinant DNA.
Yes. So what are you getting after the entire process? You're getting a recombinant DNA. Next question. EcoR1 cuts the DNA between the bases. What does this stand for? EcoR1. E stands for? I told you how to name the vectors. E stands for what? Escherichia coli. You remember? E stands for? Escherichia coli. R is the name of the, yes, beta. R is the name of the strain. And what does this Roman number 1 indicate? When we did the naming, we talked about it. This Roman number tells the sequence in which the enzyme was isolated from E. coli. So how do we name? E stands for, what is this E? Eco, what does this E actually indicate? Yes, even if you were not present for the classes, now you can do beta. R gives the name of the strain. And the Roman number always indicates the sequence in which this was extracted from this particular bacteria, that is Escherichia coli. What are sticky ends? See, when these fragments get separated after the DNA is cut, these ends are what we call as
Sticky end.
sticky ends. Who has cut the DNA?
Endonucleases.
Very good. So if you can see over here, after cutting, it's written sticky ends. So these are the sticky ends. After cutting, what you get are the sticky ends. Okay, identify this. What is this figure? In biotechnology, we did this figure.
Bioreactor.
Bioreactor.
Yes, bioreactor.
Bioreactor.
Good, good. Let's read the questions, then we'll plan the answers. First, please read the questions and see the figure. And then we'll try and answer these questions. Just observe the reactor also once before you answer the questions. After this, you'll get to know the type of questions which can be asked based on diagrams. Yes. Should I show the questions now? What role does the acid base inlet play? Acid base inlet. Obviously, you can guess out also. Acid base inlet, what role will it play?
To regulate the pH.
Excellent. Very good. It will maintain the pH, that it will control the pH. Okay. Name another type of bioreactors used commercially. This is the sparged one. See if you have a sparger over here. So this is the sparge type. There was one more type I did with you. Two types we did. Which was the second type they are asking you? Stirring type. Forgot? We had a stirring type also. Name the type of bioreactor shown. You will be able to name this. It's simple stirring one. What is it used for? What is the purpose of bioreactors? What are they used for? What are bioreactors used for? They are used for commercial products, for example, medicines and all, pharmaceutical drugs. So what is the main function? What are bioreactors used for? Making? Yes.
Commercial product.
Very good. Draw the label sketch of a sparge stir tank bioreactor. This is the stir one. So this is drawing. This I'm not taking up. Let's go to question number 5. Those who are attending the classes regularly, what is the thing that you have noticed in question number 5? Can't you see this is again the same thing which we had in almost every paper?
Yes.
We are
ma'am.
doing the first
Yes, ma'am.
what was it called? You remember the 3 steps we did? Yes, denaturation. Very good. And
Denaturation.
then extension. Very good.
Extension.
So whether it is 2019, both the sets, 2018 or any other paper, for sure you have a question on this. This process, you know, is denaturation. What was this step called where primers were attached? Step 2,
Annealing.
annealing. And here this is your step 3. Let's see what kind of
Extension.
questions are asked. What does the above diagrammatic representation concern about? What does this figure tell you? Which technique is this?
PCR.
Yes. Mm-hmm. What is this technique?
PCR.
Yes, it is PCR.
PCR.
Excellent. PCR. 100% a question on PCR. Always comes. The diagram shows step 1, step 2, and step 3. What are those steps? Basically, you have to name those steps. So step 1 will be named as?
Denaturation.
Denaturation.
Good. Step 2 would be named as?
Annealing.
And what do you call step 3 as?
Extension.
Extension. Good. What is the result at the end of PCR? What is the result at the end of PCR? How many
Single
copies?
strand amplified.
Yes, beta. Billion copies. Okay. One single strand can be amplified. Very, very good. What are primers?
Foreign DNA.
Yes. Basically, we attach them from outside. Good. So you have the 3 answers. Okay. Let's see. We had another question over here. List 3 steps involved in polymerase chain reaction. You already know about the answer. 3 steps of denaturation. Now, diagrammatic questions based on the second chapter. That is, yes, biotechnology and applications. I've discussed this many times with you. Just see once and then we'll discuss. Just observe the figure, read the questions, be prepared with your answers. I'll discuss it with you. Many times we've discussed this. Again, something to tell you, see the same type of topics are generally repeated.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, Vita.
Ma'am, what about B peptide chain in this figure?
Let's see what questions have been asked. We have a C-peptide chain. It is cut later. What does the above diagram represent? Let me take it up. What does it represent?
Removal of C peptide chain.
And when does it get removed?
Maturation.
Excellent.
Maturation of proinsulin.
Very good, very good. It gets removed at maturation. So the perfect answer is no doubt the maturation of proinsulin into insulin. What will you write in correct word selection? What will be the answer?
Maturation of proinsulin into insulin.
Yes. Second question is, what does insulin contain? You have basically two strands, A peptide and B peptide, which are related, connected with which bonds? When I explain the chapter,
Disulfide bonds.
Disulfide bonds.
Excellent. Disulfide bonds. Next, what is the use of C peptide in the diabetic patients? This is little extra, which is not done, but I'll tell you basically. This is used for monitoring the beta cells in the human body beta. Okay. We generally use it for monitoring which cells? Beta cells.
Beta cells.
How is insulin formed? Tell me.
By removal of C peptide chain.
Yes, the mature insulin is formed by removal of the C-peptide chain. See, if you can see very clearly, this was proinsulin. This is insulin, and what is separated? Free C-peptide. So when this C-peptide becomes free, automatically what is left? This is your insulin.
Ma'am,
This also, I think,
C peptide is not.
it is not very efficient. What is bolus dose? This is also something new for you, a little out of syllabus. I'll tell you what is bolus dose, though it is not there in your syllabus, but anyways we'll do. How much of insulin we need to give a patient so that his blood sugar drops down, okay, by and comes down to normal level. That dose is known as bolus dose. How much of insulin we need to give a patient so that his blood sugar comes to normal. So that dose is known as the bolus dose. It is different for different patients. See this. E-cloning. Recombinant DNA technology again. See, we have a question again on recombinant DNA technology. Earlier, we know E. coli bacteria taken from human intestines, plasmid. Plasmid removed. We cut this plasmid with the help of which enzyme?
Endonuclease.
Yes. And on the other side, we have taken this strand of DNA, cut by restriction enzyme. Human insulin gene. What was it called? Artificial, this.
Humulin.
Yes. Now this human insulin gene will be inserted here in this cut plasmid. Both the pieces will join together and you have got a recombinant DNA plasmid over here. See this in the plasmid, this human insulin gene is attached and this human plasmid is then inserted into E. coli so that multiple copies can be obtained. What can be obtained is multiple copies. So basically, what are we trying to do? Let's read this. Diagrammatically represent the experimental steps in cloning and express a human gene into bacterium E. coli. How will you insert a human gene into the bacteria E. coli? Okay. E. coli bacteria taken from human intestines. This is your plasmid. This is the chromosome of E. coli. We have removed the plasmid from E. coli. See, this plasmid has been removed. And after we remove the plasmid, we cut the plasmid. And we are getting this human insulin gene from the nucleus of a human cell. This is the human insulin gene. Both the pieces spliced together, connected together, and we've got a recombinant plasmid. Why is it called a hybrid plasmid?
Because it is from the two combination of two.
Yes, Peter. It has a foreign DNA segment also. Normally, this had come from E. coli, and this is the human gene. Why do we put it into E. coli after preparing this hybrid plasmid?
To make multiple copies. Make many copies.
Yes, Peter. So bacteria with this hybrid plasmid will replicate and lot of cloning will be done, many copies will be done. There's a question in the choice also. Read this. Recombinant DNA technology is of great importance in the field of medicine. With the help of a flow chart, show how this technology has been used in preparing genetically engineered human insulin. So it is both the ways. Either they'll tell you to draw or you will have to identify the diagram. Seen the question? What are these? Can you guess what are these?
Human.
What are these, beta? These are the multiple copies. Yes, after replication, these are the multiple copies of this plasmid. Let me ask you here. Which bacteria is taken?
E. coli.
E. coli.
From where?
Human intestine.
Okay. Now, what is extracted from this?
Plasmid.
What is taken out?
Plasmid.
Plasmid. Plasmid is a circular genetic material, you know only. So we have removed the plasmid from where?
E. coli.
Beta. What have we done with the plasmid now? See, we have cut the plasmid at a specific site. So we must have cut the plasmid with the help of what?
Endonucleases.
Endonucleases.
Yes, beta. So this is cut from here. The other side, we have taken a human cell. And from the nucleus, we have taken a strand of DNA. And this strand of DNA is also cut. Human DNA is also cut by which enzyme?
Restriction enzymes.
So we are cutting the DNA of E. coli. We are also cutting the DNA from a human cell. And then this small piece of cut DNA of humans is going, which contains the insulin gene, will be fixed over here. It will be inserted here and it will stick to it with the help of splicing. The process, which enzyme was used in splicing? Sticking
Ligase.
process? Ligase. Very good. So here you see this is your human insulin gene. You got a recombinant plasmid, hybrid plasmid. This plasmid is a hybrid plasmid because it's originally a plasmid of E. coli, but it also contains some DNA of humans. So this is a hybrid plasmid. So this plasmid is inserted into E. coli. That was a natural host. We had taken it from E. coli only, so we are putting it back to E. coli. And now what process will happen? Cloning is taking place. Multiple copies of this plasmid are being produced. See? So all of them will be able to produce a human insulin. Earlier only this one was able to produce. Now the copies of this will be able to produce what? Human insulin. Okay. Once again from this, what does this represent?
Proinsulin.
What does
Maturation of
proinsulin? And this is which insulin?
Mature.
Yes, this is a
Mature
mature. Excellent.
Mature
But
insulin.
what difference have you observed when proinsulin converts to mature?
C-peptide
Removal of
chain is
C-peptide.
removed.
Okay. Fine. We discussed about the use of C-peptide in diabetic patients. Production of its cells controlling
Beta pe-
beta cells. How is insulin formed? You can see this by removal
By
of.
removal of C-peptide chain from heme.
What did you understand? What is bolus dose?
amount of insulin given to a patient so that his normal so that his blood sugar becomes normal.
Yes, beta. So bolus dose is going to be different for different people. If the sugar level is very low, then little amount. Okay. There's a question for OR also from recombinant DNA. This one. 3 steps of denaturation, you know only. What is the source organism of Taq polymerase? We had done this.
Thermus aquatica.
Yes, Thermus aquaticus. What is special that it remains active at high temperatures? Why did we take this only?
It remains active at because it remains active at high temperature.
Yes. Name once again. What is the name of this enzyme?
Thermus aquatic Taq polymerase.
Why is this one only selected?
Because it remains active at high temperatures.
Normally, what happens to other enzymes if we raise the temperature?
They become inactive. Denaturation.
Yes, become. Denaturation takes place. They become inactive after a certain level of heat. Even in the human body, there's a certain temperature where it is maintained. After that, they become inactive. So we have selected a special enzyme. Which one is?
Taq polymerase. Thermus aquatic.
Yes, we can use it very nicely because it remains active at what temperatures?
High temperature.
Okay, before I discuss one or two more things with you, let's do this. We can start with the chapter tomorrow. Identifying of these steps, you can do. What is step 1?
Denaturation.
Which is the same. What happens in denaturation? Let's discuss a little. What happens in denaturation? What do we apply? What are we applying?
Heat, high amount of heat.
High amount of heat. What happens when we apply a great amount of heat to the double-stranded DNA? What happens?
It gets separated. It becomes DNA.
Yes. So the double-stranded DNA actually converts into a single-stranded DNA. The process is known as denaturation. Why?
Yes, ma'am.
Why is it called denaturation?
Because on providing heat, it's natural. Double strand.
Yes, Peter. The natural nature of DNA is spoiled now because DNA was a double-stranded structure and we have spoiled its original nature. We have changed its original nature. That is why this process is known as
Denaturation.
Denaturation.
what is the second step called?
Annealing.
Annealing.
Yes, children, why is it called annealing?
Because primers are added to the single stranded DNA.
Yes, annealing means to add on something. And what are we adding over here?
Primers.
Primers. See, be very confident about these topics. You'll 100% have questions based on this. So annealing is also done, which is the third step.
Extension.
Extension.
Why do we call this process as extension? Because the length of the strand increases by adding more number of nucleotide bases. More nucleotide bases are added, so your strand gets extended. Okay, the length increases. That is why this process is known as
Extension.
very good. I hope you all are all confident now.
Yes, ma'am.
What are these three steps of what? What is the process that we are trying to do?
PCR.
PCR.
And one thing very sure you have understood that PCR is one topic very good person going to get a question on. Isn't it? Can you tell me a
Yes,
few
ma'am.
more
Yes,
topics which you have understood? Tell me
Recombinant
if you
DNA.
have understood that.
Recombinant DNA.
Very good. Recombinant DNA. Okay, so you have to be very careful about these topics. And one we had on vector also. We generally have a question from vector. Which vector was it?
PBR 322.
PBR 322. That you remember the things which are in, but you don't remember the sites as of now. So today, beta, make sure you learn the sites outside also. Like today, you could not identify the ones which are in the side. Generally, we have questions from what is in the middle. In the middle, we have how many things? 1, 2, 3, or 4?
4.
Yes.
Four.
There are 2 antibiotic resistant genes. Name them.
Ampicillin tetracycline.
Which is the third and the fourth one?
ORI and ROP.
Yes, beta. ORI, ROP. So which are the 4 things very quickly, children, inside PBR 322?
Ampicillin tetracycline, ORI, ROP.
Tetracycline, ori, and
Yes. So you people are confident about inside this part. But these we have not learned. Charlie, let's try and do it. Finish it with me today here. Yes, this one was
HIN2.
in 3.
3.
In 3. After Hindi 3, what is this?
BAM H1.
BAM H1. Very good. Hindi 3, these small 2 segments, easy way to identify. Small 2 segments over here to start from. This is Hindi 3, this is BAM H1. And then this big area which comes. This is
Cell 1.
SAL 1. Don't take ROP and ORI. These we are not going to take because they're actually here inside. They've shown. Okay. So this one thing I felt is these reactors, you were not very confident. See this acid base inlet and this. See this on the top. Can you see this acid base inlet? So this must be maintaining what?
Yes, ma'am.
pH.
pH.
Yes, Peter. This maintains pH. Okay. We have sparge state tank bioreactor also. Sparging where air bubbling is done. See this sparge stir tank bioreactor. You remember these bubbles?
Yes,
Why do
ma'am.
we have bubbles? We increase the oxygen and this increases this area. Basically, that is why we are using this. Increase surface area for oxygen transfer. What are we transferring over here?
oxygen.
Bubbles. Basically, why do we do this? Because they increase the surface area. This is sparged one. We have, if we have bubbles, it is the sparged back stirring one. And if you don't have bubbles, then you will see that you will have the normal stirring one. Okay, oxygen concentration over here. How much is the value of oxygen at a time can be measured from here? This is your cold water inlet. So this will have a cold water outlet also over here. This is the motor. Why do we have motor?
To rotate.
Very good. To rotate. One very important thing, why do we have an anti-foam device put over here on the top? See on the top, it's written anti-foam.
So that foam will not form.
To remove the foam, 100% correct, but foam kahan se aayega? We have not put foam in it. So where does the foam come from that we have to remove it?
Oxygen may deposit.
Very good, very good. Since we are putting in oxygen, we'll have bubble formation, foam will be formed. But if it's excess of foam, we can remove this. Okay, name any 3 important parts of a bioreactor which are shown on your screen.
Motor, antifoam,
Hmm.
And
Yes. Yes. Hmm. Yes. Can we have the functions also? Motor is used for
rotating,
rotation.
rotating. Very good. Next, you had named what?
Antifoam.
Okay. What is the function?
To prevent formation of foam.
Very good. Any other part which is very important for this?
Acid base inlet.
acid or base,
Good. So what will this control?
pH,
pH of the reactor.
pH.
Good. Very, very good. Good, beta. Next, any other important thing? What is the main difference between these two bioreactors? Hmm.
Simple and sparse. One is
Sparser
a
is
stirring
this.
type and one is sparse.
Yes. So basically, you can identify them also with the number of bubbles that you have. Okay, why do we have that agitator and motor and all?
For rotating.
for
Mm-hmm. Good, for rotating. So that all the things which we have added in the bioreactor, they mix very nicely. That is why we had something to mix it up. We have an agitator and a motor. Motor, you know, goes round. So when it will move, it will automatically mix up the things with it, normally with it. So these are the important components of your bioreactor.